Okay, seems we are live on Instagram. Okay, and it looks like we're also live on
Seems we are live.
Twitch. So Twitch might be also live, so no problem. It's strange, I don't seem to have some. Let me just check something. Yeah. Let me bring you some music on Instagram. So, okay. Welcome everyone. I think we are not a lot of people tonight, which is normal. Welcome to this Convember session number 11. Let me reduce a little bit the sound. Okay. This is Convember session 11. I'm a bit late tonight, but why not? And since I think since this weekend we have started experimenting around the nature elements, and with we have made experiments with a lot of different things, and yeah, we made 3 flowers based men, so I was quite inspired by this system. And I think I want to explore more the rocky man. So this one was a golem. It was quite interesting, but I think I want to go more like that. So as tonight I want to go with simpler ideas than yesterday, because yesterday was quite a heavy process, going through 3D models and vertex animation texture. I want to make something more simple tonight, and what I have in mind is playing with some crystal shapes and a better material, because the main concept behind all of this is basically trying to iterate over body interpretation, etc. But of course I want to have something with a nice art direction and polish, and it might be quite difficult to have that in only 3 hours per days. So in the past few days we've only focused on the behavior, and we still have this, as you can see here, on this one, we still have this gamey look and feel. So I think tonight I want to explore more something like a little bit like this one, with more PBR materials, in order to have a more interesting shape. This one was quite interesting because we used the terrazzo, and it was quite interesting as a shape. So I want to explore more materials and behavior. So what I have in mind is playing with this kind of shapes, and maybe having these shapes growing on vertices. So maybe it might be change its size based on the curl noise again, or not. I really don't know. Maybe so, maybe not. I don't think. I don't have the full idea right now, but I think this kind of shapes might be really interesting. So I think I want to explore more gold shapes, etc. So something more interesting. Oh, the skull is quite interesting. I have an idea with the skull, but I think maybe we can do it tomorrow. So yeah, I want to explore this kind of shape. So let's try first to find a shape which can be used in our little guy here. CG Trader is kind of a really great great place to find something like that. Maybe this little gem, but little bit too, I don't know, too pure. You know, this kind of crystal is interesting, but it's too geometric for me. This one is really interesting. Does it have some... It doesn't support PBR, so of course it doesn't have PBR, and because it doesn't have UV map. Okay. Gem, rock, cluster, architectural, crystal. Maybe we can find something on Turbo Squid. This one. So it was crystal. Let's try to find something like that. Want something free, for example. This might be interesting. I'm looking for something with UV texture because I want to use some PBR material. So and I don't want to have to try to create my own on Cinema 4D because we don't have time. If we can keep everything in under 2 hours, might be interesting. I haven't thought about mineral. Let's try to find something like that. It doesn't support UV mapping, so it can't have texturing, so not interesting. This one is too polished. I think this one might be interesting. It's some kind of a lot of vertices, so let's try this one. This one might be interesting, but I think it has too many polygonals though, but we can try it also. Let's check some mineral. Okay. I'll try this one. Okay. Cinema 4D. Okay. Here we are, Cinema 4D. Let's check this little scene here. No, it's a full scene. Okay, this is the plane, and we have some crystal here, so it might be interesting to extract some of them. I try to check the UV for at first. Yeah, so we have some UV, and I think this might be our little guy. If we simply delete this, we can extract okay. It's quite interesting. So which one will we will take? Where is this one? This one are here. Maybe something like this little guy here might be interesting. Okay, so let's duplicate this one. Ten. I think it's this one. Yeah, this is this one. Okay. I want to extract this one. Look like we've enclosed it, so no problem. Let's try to find a bull. Okay. Let's remove this. Okay. We have our little guy here, no problem. Okay, we will need to reset its PSR. And before that, let's apply this. Okay, this is the first, then we can simply looks quite good to me. So it has a pivot on the base. So let's try with this one. Okay, I will save this here, copy, paste, export in our Codevember session, which is here. Let's create a roll 1. Okay. No, we have our little mineral, so no problem. So let's create a new scene based on the last one. So this is scene 011. Okay. So basically 011 is the same scene as yesterday, but I've made a change because I've added these planar reflections on the bottom. So that's, let me just enable the NDI so you will have the output also. So yeah, I've added this morning planar reflection. I wanted to add this this nice reflection on the ground. So okay, as usual we need to change our script, and I've made some change here. So controllers, once again let's rename this as no, this is always on the code part. So 11 11 11 11 11. Okay, so this is the first one. Then our second one is this one, and I think this one is quite the same right now, so no problem here. Okay, We need to put a little bit a new compute shader, and let's change this compute shader by basically I think this is quite the idea. In fact, we'll make some change inside this one, but let's put this aside for a moment. Okay, so this one is proper element, and let's create a new material. I think this one might be a good solution. I try to remember, but yeah, I think the 09 might be the static 09 might be a good one. So let's rename this 11, and going back here, so the Q is opaque, render type in fact it's geometry, but I don't need this, and the light mode is forward, don't have a blend mode, UV, bump, screen pose, why not, data, oppose, okay, the noise dosing, why not, full forward shadow, add shadow vertex, instancing, roughness, global emission is textured, yeah, because we had this ramp thing, so I can get rid of these parts. So I can rename this as 11. Roughness, metalness, this is this, and the ramp we can get rid of it. Okay. Q opaque. Did I make a mistake on this? Let's try to open another shader. I think maybe the 3, for example, which is also, yeah, it was not the Q, it was the render type. The Q is transparent, geometry, alpha test. So basically the Q here is Instagram has crashed. What new things? Okay, let's finish this. Let me relaunch Instagram while I'm simply just put everything in place for this. Okay. So let's remove this component, this component, this component, this component, and this one. Let's use the O10, the 1111 controller, the 1111 GPU mesh, and let's try to have 100 of instances right now. With a scene of 151, the mesh would be in the mineral mesh, which is in our model here. Okay, a scale of 1 1, for example, with the element of 1 1 1. Random rotation, no. Let's create a new material here, which would be, let me relaunch the Instagram feed. And it seems There we live again on Instagram, so that's okay for Instagram. Okay, so this one was the 1111, and it has this 11 material, and we put this here, and I want something white for the moment, and I want a compute shader which is the 11. Okay, so I've add everything and it worked, but our elements minor role here is really too big, so let's reduce a little bit this size. And now it's simply too small. 0, 1 for example, let's try that. Okay, 0, 0, 1. Yeah, that was basically the idea. So our material is here, so what I have enabled below is dislike, so I don't need this. Let's write simple red the color for the moment. The up map. Can use the displace as the AO. We can use the roughness here. With a global emission of 0. Okay. So that's the main idea. Let's try to add more of these little guys. For example, let's add 100 for elements. Yeah, so that was the main idea I had. This kind of directional we can change this by a vector 3, so we can use again the min scale here for the scale. So it would be vector 3 of this. So min max scale dot x multiply by the model description dot x. Z Y cannot be used as a method, of course, because it's a new vector 3. Convert to float, of course, because it's a vector 3. Oh, I've already made that. This is a scale and this could be okay. So if I tell on something going from 1 1 1 for the elements, for example, for the y it would be 0 25, this one and that one, 2 1 2. Now it's a rocky man. Maybe we can disturb this rocky man a little bit. Kind of like the aspect of this one, and maybe we can change a little bit, something like more disturbed in the bottom and less disturbed in the head. Okay, so once again Instagram has crashed, so I will maybe relaunch Instagram last one. So it will be the last time I will relaunch Instagram. So to run, and if Instagram crashed again, then we will go with the only Twitch. Okay, so let's try for Instagram, because it has already crashed 2 times. if it crashes for the third time, I will close Instagram feed and only focus on the Twitch. So I was thinking about maybe we have this Rocky Man. I kind of like the way it's on every direction, but I think it might be interesting also to yeah, something like that, to disturb a little bit our Rocky Man. Maybe we can simply, so let's focus a little bit on this. Our Rocky Man is on, yeah, seems to be quite good on the normal, but I'm not quite sure, but it seems to be quite good, so we can keep this man. Yeah, I was thinking about adding some little rotation, random rotation, so a little bit of randomness in the distribution, so something like 25% of rotation, so something like that. And the more we're going on the edge, the more we can simply, by a linear interpolation, not going to the direction to the normals, but re-going to the up direction. So that might be something depending on this. So some things that we can use is simply the norm y, as we already used in our compute shader lately. So this is basically the position dot y divided by 2 because we based on 2 meters, but I think our man is basically 1.8 meter, which seems to be correct. And I can simply invert this value and try to use this as a multiplier for the two quaternion here, which rotate our little guys. Cannot apply. I cannot apply a float to a quaternion. If I cannot apply a float to a quaternion, I might be able to apply this directly to the component of it. So something like that. Cannot implicit convert a double to float. Cannot implicit convert what? One dot position float y. Yeah, we have a double, some second double here. Let's reduce this a little bit and focus only on this one. So let's say what's happened if I use this. It's kind of quite the thing I had in mind at first, but I'm not sure. So yeah, let's say I want something like 0 here. So this was the idea. Okay. Oh yeah, we can, I think, also change a little bit this. So when I said 1 minus this, we use this one, which is Kejiro submodel, and let's check a little bit. Yeah, I cannot implicit convert something a double as float, no problem. Let's try to find out the proper height for this one. So here, yeah, I want to reset these parts. 010101. Yeah, so 2 meter is here, so it might be a little bit too big, so let's try to fix a height of 2.8, which is our 8 references. And if I invert this calculation, I think the best things to see what's happened here is simply set everything as a height of 1, so without randomness, to see really a pattern. So that's the main pattern. Okay, what we want is going from something purely random to something directional, so something like that. So when I say something purely random, I have something like that. So this is purely random. Then I can apply the norm y here, which will be able to it's reorienting everything, especially on the base, but I'm not sure why this is orienting on the base. Yeah, 0, 1. In fact, this is, I think this one is more interesting than the last one. Of course, it needs to be a 1 here. Okay, let's keep this one. So here we have something like 0, 0.25, 1, 5, 1.5, 5, and now we can add a little bit of randomness into it. So yeah, basically we have what I thought that might be interesting. So the second part might be to changing the size a little bit directly into the compute shader, because we have this, so maybe we can change the size. Let's find a shader where we change the size, and I think some shader where we change the size is not the second one. The other one, yeah, we have something changing the size here. We have the new scale here, so we've put something like that. So we have the transform. The rotation, I think we will not use it. Let's try, but I think I will have an error in the shader because this new scale does not exist in our current compute shader. Yeah, as you can see, rotating, not really interesting, especially because the rotation is really too big. So I will not use the rotation, but the scale might be interesting. We have this O scale here, so +3 new scale would be equal something to O scale +3, in fact, which is O scale multiplied by average direction, which is dir dot x plus dir dot y plus dir dot z divided by 3. Let's try something like that. So new scale dot x, y, and z. Y, z. Does we have any R&D somewhere? Yeah, R&D exists, so no problem. Okay, let's apply the scale. Curl noise will be remapped from -1 to 1 to 0, 1. And it need to be at the time, which is this but we need the global time if we want something more interesting. Well, now that's something that might be interesting. Okay, the randomness, we can get rid of this part. The position might be 2.5f. So now I can say noise scale is equal to 2.5f plus noise noise time scale, which could be equal to 0.5 float scalar. I will call this a scalar, and this could be the noise scale, and this could be the noise multiplied by noise time scale. Oh yeah, multiply this by the noise scale and not the scalar. I forgot to change the name of the variables. So it's quite interesting. We can reduce a little bit this and maybe fade this, just to have something more around the body. Okay, for me it's okay. We can also ease the scalar, so scalar eased, maybe something with I don't know, in out quad, for example, just to change a little bit the aspect of the noise. So that was the main idea I had. Okay, sure, quite interesting, and we can change a little bit, and I think it might also be interesting to find the same thing we've made the last time for our little guy, changing from, I think it was, let me check, if I'm inverting the noise, I think I would have something in inverse. But when we mix everything the last time, it was quite interesting when we used the let me show you. I don't have all my mind tonight. It was this one which was interesting, you know, mixing two elements, and I think we can use the noise and quite the same approach to mix the two. So basically that was the main idea for me, and it's the same shape in fact, but it's keep with randomness a lot of difference. So let's try to find now, just to prepare everything, of course, let's try to find a nice material. So let's see what's happened when we see this rocky man. And now we will try to find a nice PBR material. So CG Trader, I want to test something because CG Trader are also some materials, and I don't know where they are. CG Trader. It was on CG Texture, I think. I'll try to find something like gold, for example. Okay. PBR texture. Okay. This one is really cool as a site. You can find a lot of things on this. So in the category, I don't want wood. Rocks might be interesting, but we already made this. Metal is already interesting also. Painted metal, yeah, why not? As we're approaching Christmas, it might be interesting to make some Christmas ornaments, man. Okay. Okay. This is more some scratched, so I don't want it. I don't want something rusted. Really, I want to focus on minerals, so I think something like that might be better. Gold or goldish, a little bit like that. And now let's try to find something else. Yeah, let's try to tap mineral, crystal, for example. No, okay. There's a lot of different sites for that, but okay. So we have 3 gold material. So let's download the 3 of them. There is also texture heaven, I think. Okay. Put this aside. Let's say on the code assets texture, let's say gold 0, gold 1, gold 2. Okay. And gold 2. Okay. Now let's try our material and see. A good material can make really a good project. This is what we need to understand. So this is the color, this is the normal, but the normal need to be set as a normal texture. So let's create this as a normal map. Okay, going back here, we have the metallic and we have the ruggedness, and we can use the displacement. Sometimes I use the displacement as an albedo. It might add an ambient occlusion. So as you can see, this one is not really fully interesting. Maybe it's because the albedo is not great. That doesn't look like really, it might be because of our lighting setup. So this is the normal, this is the metallic, and this is the ruggedness. Let's use the displace again. Interesting, but again a little bit too okay. This is the metalness, and yeah, too brownish, and I think it might become from our shader. Because it doesn't reflect the environment, so let's check the surface shader. So we have the metallic. Okay, with our ambient occlusion we use the normal, we use the metalness, the smoothness. Oh, although I forgot this part, which is quite important. It's the glossiness, which is named the smoothness, but where is this value? Yeah, I call this of course the glossiness need to be 1. Maybe you can use the Luma here for the global emission. think yeah, we use white everywhere, so no problem here. Yeah, this was our albedo. The albedo was messing up with all the systems, so if I want to try, so I want to change this, for example, so this is the metalness, this is the ruggedness, and this is the normal, so this is some another gold metal. This one I can change the AO and the metalness and the ruggedness, so it gives us something else, but the better I think is this one. More yellow, but we need to add things to it, so let's go back here. So yeah, this was this one. We need to sample the environment. Yeah, this was this. Okay, so what the reference says about that? Okay, why not? I think we need to pass the cube map. Why not? Also need to pass some data to the struct. Yeah, so as you can see now, we basically have the environment, so it's not a problem. But we have this problem of the force of the environment mapping. And this multiplied by dot. I mean, let's try something like that. As we can see, if we push a little bit the color of the albedo directly inside of it, let's give us something more colorful. So this might be the global emission. Try something like that. Where did I make a mistake? Yeah, forgot semicolon. Multiply by the linear interpolation of luma.albedo or the O.albedo to to the offset of albedo emission. Okay. Okay, there is something here on the cat-like coding I've made. We've nearly finished our experiment for this one, I think. Okay, so I think for this one it might be enough, but we need to change and create a new one. And I think we can basically try to use another crystal. So let's go back here and try to find another one. Maybe a little bit different, so this one was quite interesting. This one could be great, but I thought about this one too much. Or we can use the same, in fact. Yeah, let's use the same. Let's use the same, but change the material. So something like copy paste as new. Can say something like we want, in order to see it we will put it some blue in it. And this will be 11.2 and this would be 11.1, and now 11.2 is going here, and we will use the same shader, so not a problem. Okay, so first of all let's change something in the shader, something like saying some uniform float inverted. And the main idea here is to simply to say if it's inverted, let's modify the scalar. So scalar is simply equal, if it's inverted we go to 1 minus himself, if not it will be himself. Then we will create a bool yeah, something here, something like public bool inverted, and we will say compute.set float inverted. Let's use a ternary. If inverted is true it would be 1, if not it would be 0. And we might end up with some fully complete elements or not, or yes. Oh, I forgot to push the inverted. So if I'm correct, I will not have any, yes. So now I doesn't have any hole inside our shape. So basically this is what I had in mind at first by going from a little bit of gold and another thing. Something that really interesting as a material. It's going from gold to marble or something like that. Let's try at first the terrazzo, because it's quite a beautiful material, so why not? So yeah, it would be let's try the real one. So the terrazzo here we can use this as the ambient occlusion. This is the reflection map, so no. The ruggedness and the metalness, let's try this one for the metalness. What might be interesting is having some little gold inside the terrazzo. Okay, so we will try to find an I'm a little bit intrigued by the color. What's happen if I change the color of the gold? Maybe I can bring three gold, for example. Let's try that. So it would be matte 1111. So let's try at first to have something like let's say 333 and also 333, but the matte 2. So basically I want to try to have different kind of gold. So I will try the three gold, which can be quite interesting. So metalness and ruggedness here, and then I will copy component and paste as new, which is the same, but we will use another. So we have matte 2 and now we have matte 3, and in the matte 3 we will try to use the gold one. Okay, and just to see if it's bring a little bit of variation. can bring a little bit of copper inside it, that might be interesting. So yeah, it's not what I had in mind, but so let's again this was the site I was looking for. This one we have already checked. Sometimes we have some great texture on polygon also, so okay, let's try to find some good yeah, this was the things I was looking for. Yeah. Beautiful quartz also might be interesting. Some marble also. Thank you, Emma. Some white marble can be really beautiful. Okay, so let's try with this different textures. So not sure about this one. The agate might be really beautiful. Great. Agate. And we will push this to here. Okay, let's try this one. So remember, the material 1 and material 2 is quite interesting, but the 3, basically this one, nah, not really interesting. Oh, is it? Is it the 2 which was not interesting? Maybe it was the 2. Yeah, it was the 2 because the copper is quite interesting, but things that might be interesting also is maybe to bring back just to test. It was on the shader 2, I think. Bring back the discard a little bit just to be able to only see what we want. So let's say the discard value will be our alpha test. So this is only a debug, but so a float, and this would be 1. Okay, and float. I think we still have something to do because we have the disappearance of the if I remember correctly, some of them are popping in out. So okay, so 1 is good. This is our first metal. 2, this is the one we want to make. 3 is kind of copper, so might be interesting. So let's focus on this one, and I wanted to try the agate. Okay, so it was the 2. This is the bump, this is the color, this is the occlusion, this is the rough. What that? We have a material settings, I don't remember. Yes. Oh yeah, this is the material, this is only the elements. So the mat 2 look like that. I think I've disabled the AO, but it was white, so I can re-enable it. Brownish is not really interesting. It's beautiful although, but okay. Or maybe we can try this one of just to check. Now I want to download the maps. See the other agate. Okay, agate 2. Okay. Hey Ben, how are you tonight? I haven't seen the chat. It's on the computer on the side, and I'm focused on the code. So I want to test the agate, the occlusion, the ruggedness. Oh no, the ruggedness is here, but the metalness is here. The metalness will be white. Oh, it's quite interesting, in fact. Of course, interesting. I kind of liked playing with blue, but I'm not sure it's working well with the gold. Blue and yellow sometimes. I know it can work, but here I think it might be. Oh, I'm quite confident with this one or this little guy here. So let's try with the quartz, and it might be a beautiful mix between the quartz and the gold. So I will say quartz. Okay. Quartz. I can also reduce the number of gold and having some quartz and some agate and then a little bit of gold. That might be also a good marble, a good mix. And this could be in fact a really good mix. So let's try. Again, we will use the 2, and instead of the, so where is my quartz? So this is the quartz and this is the marble. So we'll take the normals again and convert it as a normal map. Yes. Let's start with the quartz. It has a color displacement. I don't use it. Okay, I have an occlusion and I have a rough. Metallic is black. So this is the quartz. Look like a kind of terrazzo. Which is beautiful in fact. Having some whitey elements. I always like white, so it's not a problem for me. Let's check if I put things to 1 for the texture, if we have something more detailed. Yeah, but it's really a big detail, it's really too white. So maybe 0505, and the R will need to be the same, I think. Yeah. Now we can see a little bit of detail on the quartz. So the quartz is quite beautiful. Okay, I know that, no problem. Maybe we can simply save this with some name. So this is gold and this is copper, this is quartz, and let's change this by mat 4, which would be we've said marble. So we'll test the marble and then I think we will retest the and the specular is not in the ruggedness. The specular is here. It doesn't have any ruggedness, I think, but I can put this. So yeah, we will retry, I think, the agate. Let's check. I think I've put, so this is the marble, this is the quartz, and this is the gold. So yeah, I need to say that the quartz is 0 right now. I don't want to see it. Okay, so this is the marble, which really need to be 1 1 1 1 and 1 1. So now this is a real marble. So what's happened in the marble if I put some displacement here? In the ruggedness. Okay. So we can try various things. I think I also said that I want to go back with the agati, which was the 5 agati. Okay. I can put it here. And let's rename it without the plus. And let's put the agati, the beautiful agati, which was the blue one, I think. So this is the agati, this is the agati normal, this is the occlusion, this is the ruggedness, and the metalness is here. So, okay. Okay. Let's try to focus on our parts. Okay. So let's disable this. Let's try by having a big elements. So this is our main elements, and I think it will be some quartz. Okay, so everything will be set to 0 right now except the quartz. Okay, so basically we have the base, which is big and which is a quartzman, and we can reduce a little bit its reflection. I think it's good for the quartz. Okay, so a big base of quartz, then a second one could be on the quartz a little bit, really a little bit, so let's say 50 of gold. Which is a bigger input here, so a little bit of gold. With a little bit of copper, which is here. So we'll add some copper here. So let's not modify this. Okay. So the last one with a little bit of copper, with again 50 elements. Okay. So sometimes we have some gold, sometimes we have some copper. So now we can increase a little bit the emission on the gold and reduce a little bit its okay. So this is our base, and now I can copy paste our main element here, so copy and paste as new, and this again 500, but it would be an agati which could be inverted, and now I need to set that the agati is ready to shown. I'm not sure about this part. No, I think I will need really the agati is not the solution. Okay, so this is really here the gold. So we'll have different things. So we will have some quartz with copper. Okay, so this is the quartz and the copper, and then we will have 500 gold, okay, which is inverted, with 50 of marble. It's difficult because I'm not sure about these parts, and we can still have some times to decide. So we have the quartz. So this is the quartz. This is the gold. This under is what I call the copper. The copper is here. As you can see, we can see a little bit of marble. Let me just, okay. Marble is here, so we have a little bit of marble, but I'm not quite satisfied about this. It kind of works, but let's first of all arrange this guy. It's basically something we need to add to the compute shader, especially in the scale. Not on this one, but on this one, because we also need to use the norm time. So so the is time is a out going from 0 to 1, 1 to 0. Why not? It will grow up and grow down. We will avoid the popping system. I can try to retake a little bit the 3D model. So this one, why I want to recheck it a little bit is because it's end like that, so I'm not quite fond of it. There is different things we can use to retake it. We can simply try to set, the first thing is simply try to increase a little bit the position of this, just to try. Okay, so now when it's placed on the pivot, it will not be on the, it will not be on the edge. It will avoid me to simply recreate adding some point and trying to scale it a little bit. So in the controller I will need to change every, so let me just put this aside because I want to see more elements. Or not, okay. Okay, where is my mini roll? It's here. We've set the size of 001, so let's set the size of 001 here and apply it. Okay, so first is this one, then the second one is this one, then the third one, there are two, and the last one is this. If it worked, we didn't need to. I think we will keep this one. And we can, I think we can increase the number. That might be more interesting. So in the randomness, there is different thing I want to try. So first of all, I want to try a size of 1.25 for the noise, just to see if we can have a little bit of more difference inside of it to create something with more distribution. So okay, and we still have a lot of hole inside of our little guy here, so I will try to increase the number of elements. So let's say 100 for the global number, then 255, 250, sorry, then 1000, so 1250 for each of one. Just to have some more rocky shape. It's more what I had in mind at first. Okay, let's go back to 0. Yeah, it's more interesting right now. Okay, so I think this is all for tonight. We have our little guy, we have some planar reflection, we have some noise for the shapes, and etc. etc. So I think we've made what I've had in mind, and this is really basic one, but it's kind of interesting. So we had some reflection, we have a little bit of bloom, etc., etc. So we can also try to implement. Yeah, we have some. I think we have everything we need here. So this is for our mineral guy. I hope you like it, and maybe see you tomorrow for the end of the second week. Not the end, we are only Wednesday. My god, for the 12 iterations. So see you next. See you tomorrow, in fact. So thank you for following. Goodbye and good night.